12 weeks ago, you took a chance and joined a group of strangers on a learning journey. We didn't know each other, but we were united by a shared goal. The wonderful thing about a shared goal, it has the power to unite a group of strangers in just a short period of time. Over the course of training, those strangers became mentors and teammates, and now they are a valuable network of individuals who are invested in your success. And the best part? This is true not only for training, but also for your career in proposals. Strangers will unite towards a shared goal every time you kick off a proposal. And along the way, those strangers will become mentors and teammates. They will become part of your network and they will root for your success. This is the magic of our industry. And proposals are not for everybody. In order to make this a career, you have to like what you do. And there are people who really do not like proposals. Last week, we asked you to describe your experience over the last 12 weeks in 3 words or less. And these are the words that you gave us. "93% of you described your experience as fun. It was fun because you enjoy it, and that's something that can't be taught. Doing what you like is the key." Now, let's take a minute and look at all we've learned over the last 12 weeks.
In week 1, you committed to the process yourself and your team. You met your industry mentors and alumni proposal managers, and used graphic design to create team logo concepts that were transformed by graphic designers. You also networked through LinkedIn to rally votes for your team. You learned how to use SharePoint for information management and document collaboration, and you continued to master it over 12 weeks. In week 2, you learned about the government contracting and procurement process, and you mastered the concepts. 4 weeks later, you aced a timed and hard quiz on GovCon and procurement. You learned how to do competitive analysis by identifying companies that sell to the government and by building company profiles. In week 3, we used Lego to show that teams have limited time and money and have to be strategic about where they invest it. We also learned that Kate reviews are good for everybody. You learned the different types of roles required in a successful proposal team, gained an understanding of their objectives, and thought about what role most aligned with your interests. In week 4, you discovered that proposals are an art form, and you learned the importance of both a compliant and compelling story. We learned about the structure of RFPs and the importance of reading them and reading them again in the right order. We also kicked off your first mock proposal and created your first compliance matrix. Week 5 was a pretty big week. You learned how to translate that compliance matrix into a proposal outline. You also learned the importance of using the outline to guide writers in creating their piece of the proposal, and why that guidance is critical to ensuring the overall story is cohesive. In week 6, you learned the importance of proposal themes and how to write a proposal that appeals to evaluators. You partnered with another team to create a story in response to an RFP for story development services and learned the importance of teaming. The birds and goats created a beautiful story about a tiger who learned what makes you different can also be what makes you special. And the squirrels and fish authored a touching story about 3 brother birds who used kindness to diffuse and unite with a very hungry cat. Most importantly, though, you learn that proposals result in contracts that impact real people. We printed your books and donated 30 copies to DMV area schools, libraries, and shelters. In week 7, you learned that your existing skills are relevant and you aren't starting from scratch. You just need to see your potential in the context of a new field. You learned to tailor resumes to PWS requirements by redefining and aligning your experience to proposal management job descriptions. Your mentors reviewed your resumes and you recovered them by applying their suggestions to your second draft. Not only did this help you see your potential, it gave you an industry-tailored resume that you will be able to use as you explore jobs in this field. In week 8, we learned the importance of capture and proposal teams working together as a unit throughout the process. You also learned how to apply capture principles to job searching by defining your key capabilities and identifying companies that align with those capabilities. You guys found more than 100. In week 9, we played a game of Guess Who, and your team had to submit questions to the government to guess the celebrity. You could ask 5 questions in private, but the rest were published to competitors. You got really into this one. You learn that QA is not the time to do capture, it's a last resort. You also learn the identity of our mystery celebrity, and I learned a lot about Shaq by answering all your questions. In week 10, you learned best practices of proposal writing, and you got to apply this to the concepts we learned from John with Rogue earlier in the session. You even got free licenses, which is super cool. In week 11, you got to hear from Bree and Debbie in a fireside chat, and you got to ask your burning questions about what it's like to work in this industry. In week 12, we kicked off our final proposal, and you worked with your team to independently compile a compliant and compelling proposal response from start to finish. You wrote executive summaries, defined the features and benefits of your experience, and articulated the value you will bring to our industry. You wrote beautiful reflections and got to use your tailored resumes as key personnel. But most importantly, you proved to yourself that you can do this. And it's true. You can do this, and you're going to do a great job. This session, we had 25 students, 10 mentors, 4 alumni. We spent 26 hours in class and went through 2 mock proposals, and you have unlimited potential. There's only one thing left to do. Let's graduate.